In the 16th century, Holland became the major trading power. And the famous cartographer is also called as the father of Dutch cartography, Gerardus Mercator. He worked, he studied, he examined the previous maps of preparation, and he worked originally on the maps, and he created a Mercator projection in a map. So what is projection? Generally, we know the earth is like a ball. It is a sphere and it has some curvature. For example, we are taking the globe. Globe is like a ball and it has curvatures to all sides. And when we see the world map and there are no curvatures, we are not showing that curvatures. It is inevitable to show that curvature on the flat map. So it is impossible to show that curvature on the map. So to avoid that problem, to help the sailors, generally sailors needed the correct shape and direction of the continents. So to help them, the Mercator created a Mercator projection. The worldwide, it is a famous Mercator projection. Most of the world maps are using this Mercator projection only. It is nothing but we have that globe. When we cut that globe, suppose we cut that globe and we spread that globe area on a plot. But it is not possible, it is impossible to show all the continents clearly with their size or the distance or the direction. These are the problems to show on the flat map. So the Mercator projection is a projection showing the correct shape and direction of the continents with a small distortion of size and distance. So what is that Mercator projection? Mercator projection, it is a projection showing the correct shape and direction of the continents with distortion of size and distance. It is called Mercator projection. So till today we are using that Mercator projection. It is nothing but we are viewing the continents on the globe. On the flat paper with the help of that Mercator projection. Colonization, exploration, military use and making of maps. In the olden days, the colonial powers, the major trading countries, they required the maps to establish their rule over the poor countries in Asia and in Africa and in Latin America. So before going to establish the rule over that countries, they need some information about that countries. To conquer that countries, they required some information. To get that information, the maps were prepared by their cartographers. And in the wartime also, they used maps to get the information of that routes, information of that climate of that country and forest of that country and people of that country. Of course, before going to conquer any land, we should know about that land's information. So they prepared the maps to help in the wars. The Britishers also used the maps in India. In the British period, the British government established a survey department in India. The British government appointed James Runnell as the Surveyor General, and in that time this department prepared one first map, that is the first map prepared at the time of British government. And also the William Lambton, he started a geographical survey from the Madras to Chennai to towards the Himalayas. Actually, the main desire of that Lombard is to get the accurate information or accurate length of the longitude, to get the accurate length of the longitude and the various elevations in their journey. But that survey was completed by the George Everest. He was, you know, the Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world. Actually, the elevation, the height of that mountain was measured first in the scientific way, in systematic way, by George Everest. So, the Everest is named after the George Everest. Previously, the government maintained the secrecy about the maps, so they did not reveal to others. It will affect in the wars. But nowadays, using the satellite technology, we have all the maps of all the countries. There is no secrecy in our times. Use of maps in our times. Generally, in the earlier period, they used for the wars and to establish their rule and to exploit the resources. They used the maps. But in our times, at present day, we are using the maps for planning and development. For example, we take a village, there is a scanty of drinking water. So to avoid that problem, to settle that problem, we have to go through the different types of maps. So we have to observe the rainfall map, water bodies map, and elevation map, height map, forest map, and we have to observe all types of maps. Then only we can provide the facilities to that village and we can supply the water, whether we supply through the pipes or the bore wells or anything. To plan, to provide the water to that village, we require some maps. We have to study some maps of that village. Thematic maps. What are the thematic maps? Already we have learned different types of maps. Political maps, physical maps, historical maps. The political maps are giving the information about the states, countries, districts, mandals, villages. And the physical map is giving the different types of landforms, like the lands, plains, plateaus, mountains, hills, valleys, other things. And the next one is giving the historical information about the kingdoms and their ruling area. But the maps which have only one aspect, the maps which focus on a single aspect, single information. These are called thematic maps. They have the single theme. The maps which have the single theme, it is nothing but the maps which are showing only one aspect. For example, the maps they are giving only rainfall. They are maps, they are showing the information about the forest only. There are some maps, they are giving only soil of that land. So these special type of maps, the maps which shows single aspect, are called thematic maps. They have the single theme. And yellow, it represents the cropped area, and white, it represents the mineral resources, and red represents the wasteland. Like this, we have the some important colors we are using in making of our maps. Representation of relief features on the map. Already we have completed the contour lines in the previous class. You know the contour lines. What is relief? The high and low lands on the earth's surface is relief. It means the valleys, the mountains, the plains, etc. are the different types of landforms. To show their elevation, to show their height, we are using the contour lines. The contour lines which joins the places which have the same height from the mean sea level. These are the contour lines. When the distance between the two contour lines is very little, the landscape is steep in slope. Steep in slope. And when the contour lines have the more distance in between them, so the landscape is gentle sloped landscape. Gentle sloped, not complete steep slope. So we are using the contour lines to indicate the heights of different land forms on that earth. We are showing that different types of different physical features of that land on the map with the help of contour lines. Aerial photography, satellite imagery. Aerial photography, it is a technique. It is used to take the photographs from the aircrafts or from the helicopters. These are not maps. These are the photographs only. And also in the modern period, in our times, using the satellites also, the photos are taken. The photos are taken by the satellites. The satellites were sent by us into the space. And these satellite images are used to prepare the maps and for the planning and for the development.